I was like, forget it. I didn't know it was this way.
It seems to work.
Hi. I'm going to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you.
She's my pillow model.
Okay, good. I've been coloring my hair since high school, clearly. So 30 plus years. Added up. I know.
And look at this great little post-it. Now it's a thing.
It was a happy accident.
I like it.
It really was.
Mine looked that good. I must go.
So what I thought I was saying for mine was like one halfway there. Good work it. Halfway there.
So when mine is muddy or juice, this I believe in about. This is white. See? You'll get there. It's weird to change your thought though and go, come on, white. Come on.
Yeah,
that's real strange. All right. You're like, wait a minute. I spent so many years hating this. Now I want more. Never happened.
About our gray hair.
Never happened.
Believe me, all day long. We could talk about the gray hairs.
We could. We could just have a whole topic.
Spraying mine today.
Making gray cool.
I wouldn't mind gray hair.
You love gray hair. He loves it. No big deal.
All righty. Am I mic'd? Am I ready to go here? Okay. You can all hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
All right. First of all, thank you so much for showing up for this event. I'm so excited to see all these faces that I know from social media. And as much as we all complain about social media, this is the result of it. And so it's really pretty fantastic. Thank you. Before we get started, I would love to introduce all of you to Ed Paulson. He is the agent for Kravet here on the West Coast, and he's going to just welcome us to his showroom and tell us a little bit about Kraveting.
Oh. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Kravet showroom here in Las Vegas. It's a cute little jewel box that we've had here for a few years. I thank you for taking the time out of your travels through every showroom, although it's nice to have a seat and take advantage of a little bit of rest and some entertainment. Kravet today is experiencing its 99th year in existence with the same family ownership. It's 5th generation, the largest single distributor of decorative fabric in the world. So we're very, very proud to be hosts today, and we hope that you enjoy yourself and have had a great market here in Las Vegas. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. And for all of you here that are podcast listeners, you know that Kravet is our featured sponsor, and we thank them very much for everything they do. And then our other sponsor is here too, which is Mydoma Studio. And I'd love to introduce you to Sarah Daniele. This is the CEO of Mydoma Studio.
Hi. Thank you, LuAnn. So happy to be here. Thank you, Kravet, for being a co-sponsor of this event, getting together the lovely Kelli Ellis and LuAnn Nigara. We're going to chat all about building your design empire. Some of you know about Mydoma, some of you don't. We're just going to play a quick minute video or so you can take a peek about our software. And if you have any questions after, happy to chat with you.
Alrighty.
Thanks.
Meet the Wendy's. Here's Wendy A., an interior designer in her home office. She's good at her craft, but wishes to take on larger client projects. So Wendy A. uses Mydoma Studio because it offers a professional, online branded portal which allows her to service clients with larger projects. Meanwhile, Wendy B. also runs a small design firm with a few employees. She wants to ensure that her firm can deliver a consistent personal experience. With multiple designers potentially working on a project, all information needs to be easy to find. So, Wendy B. counts on Mydoma Studio to help her design team with managing revisions and client communications while offering exceptional client experience. As small business owners, productivity is key for the Wendy's. They like how Mydoma Studio offers a product clipper that works on multiple browsers, checklists and notes for internal use, online contract sign-off, questionnaire delivery, mood board creation, invoices and payment acceptance, live chat with quick and friendly customer service. They also like how it's easy to use. Mydoma Studio has helped Wendy A. thrive as a solopreneur, and Wendy B. in running her firm more efficiently so they can take on more client projects. Be like the Wendy's. Visit MyDomaStudio.com now to get started.
Alrighty. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, here we are. I want to thank my buddy Kelli Ellis,
Cheers.
for coming here again in our second conversation.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so if you're not sure, Kelli Ellis is the original rock star interior designer, clearly. 8 licenses, 7 TV shows, numerous publications that she's been featured in, certified life coach, also the author of a CEU program, Design Psychology, which if you had listened to our interview on the podcast, episode 160, we talked a lot about that course on that episode. And on a serious note, it's an awesome thing what Kelli does. And she really does help interior designers talk and be and help your clients in the struggles that they face in their life that translates to their home. Okay, so I'm not going to go into that serious line of questioning today. We're going to have a little bit more fun, but I definitely want you to give a listen to that episode because she brings a lot of value in that regard, and I know it's very helpful for you when you're working with your clients. Okay, so I want to share with you guys what happened just the other day, Sunday. So I happened to be sitting in the courtyard outside talking with my daughter, and Kelli walked by. And of course we have met from the interview on the podcast, but never in person. And so I jumped up and I had to say hello and everything. And we had a really great chat. We chatted for about a half hour in the courtyard. And one of the things that we went around to was, of course, if you do listen to the podcast, you know that I'm like this crazy researcher person, right? So I said to her, interestingly, the day before I had to take a 2-hour ride. And so I Googled her and came up with every interview she's ever done and was listening to them on the ride. And I explained to Kelli how she had said it in the interview on our show. She said, be distinctive and be consistent. And what was interesting, and I shared with Kelli, is that there was a confluence of events, and I won't go into that whole story because it's not nearly that interesting, but when we had our first birthday party at Newell in New York City last year, my Kim, that you all know, she suggested that I wear a green dress because our podcast logo has green. And then from there, Kim and I ran with it, and every single time I do an event for the podcast, I wear something green. And so she looked at me and I said to her, and you know what? I realized I'm doing what you suggested. I'm being distinctive and I'm being consistent. And I didn't connect it to that conversation. And then she kicked my ass and called me right out on it. And she said, and who are you telling? Did you tell it? What's your hashtag? And I'm like, I'm not telling anybody. I'm just doing it. And she said, lady, tell them that you're wearing green and you're wearing it. So we need to come up with a hashtag for my green outfits. And she said to me, and I want to see you shopping for your green outfits, and I want to see you getting dressed in your green outfits. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And that's what she said to me. No, these are the rules of branding, that you're distinctive and you're consistent, but then you teach people what you want them to notice about you and remember you for. And she said, when you start to do it, people are going to be at the store and they're going to see something green and then they're going to tag you. And so I used this conversation, this chat that we had, to introduce the fact that this is one of the things that Kelli is absolutely so spectacular at, is teaching us how to be different. You're a room full of interior designers, and every one of you has something so distinctive about you that makes you the perfect designer for a client over the next talented designer sitting next to you. And so, Kelli, talk to us about this. Talk to us about how we find what makes us distinctive other than a green shirt.
Well, first of all, while we're sitting here, I'm sure you would love this. Start thinking of her hashtag.
Yes,
okay?
right.
Because she calls it podcast green,
yeah,
right?
But isn't that weird? Is that good? I don't know.
We don't know. So we want to hear. Is
By
it
the time we
LuAnn's
leave.
green?
Right.
Is it, what is it? But just think of that thing, because along those lines, along that conversation, she said to me, yeah, we're calling it podcast green. I was like, that's great, but are you calling it that to anyone else? And what that means really is being memorable. So we were talking a little bit about my hair, and I talk about it a lot, and I don't really care. So here we go. So this is real. This is real gray, silver hair, right? And who knew this would be a fad and everybody's doing their hair gray? So thank you for that crazy trend, right? Because I didn't know. I spent so many years trying not to be gray, like since high school. And then suddenly I developed an allergy, couldn't color my hair anymore. What am I going to do? I'm going to look like pink. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to rock the hairstyle. But what brand. The white hair, the glasses, the red lips, done. And everybody then knew I couldn't get away. They knew who I was. They knew, oh yeah, Kelli Ellis, that girl right there. And so then they put 2 and 2 together. And I'm not kidding you that I got 5 of the 8 licenses after the change. And then I had to go back and reinvent and make up the steps and figure out what the hell happened. Why did that happen? Because I worked so hard, right? I was doing what I needed to do. I thought I was. I was doing the great designs, getting out there, doing the social media, doing everything that was required of me. In the interim, I was already doing television, and you think that would help it stick, right? So we're talking over 10 years of TV. Still not the licensing deals that I was looking for. And I wasn't just like being on TV and going away. I was making things happen, so I thought. Until I became unforgettable. Until I created a look that connected me and my name and a brand, nothing happened. Nothing happened that I wanted it to. And I'm telling you, like, I thought I was doing the checklist of everything and talking about it. I can tell you how to get on television. I can tell you how to do all of these things, the marketing, all of it, right? But I now can really share with you that you have to have something that makes you different. And I know if you've ever gone through the branding process, you have a branding expert that will say to you, why are you different? Tell us why you're you. What do you have a niche? What is that? Now, I am not telling you to go and bleach your hair and cut it and wear the glasses and lipstick. Otherwise, I'll have to find a whole new look. Because you're all going to look like me. And then I have to come up with something totally different. But what I am saying is that find that thing. To your point, you're going to wear this color every time, and every time somebody sees that color, they're going to think of you.
Right, because I've been wearing it the last several months to every event.
Right.
I have a couple questions for you, Kelli. So here's the thing. So there's 2 different, in my mind, tracks for this conversation.
Sure.
One track is this big picture track. Like, I'm obviously creating a platform with your help, thank you everybody, for the podcast and what's happening. So that's like a big, outwardly Instagram noticeable track. But there's a lot of designers sitting here that are possibly not interested in licensing or possibly not interested in being known nationally, but want to be distinctive and known to their clients against the other designers in their pool.
Right.
So beyond the hair, beyond the green shirt, how does Wendy A. distinctive, make herself distinctive in her pool?
Okay, so here's a great example, and I'm not promoting my certification program, I promise I'm not. You can do it or not do it, I don't care, it's up to you. But what I am saying is this, is that I had a woman come up to me and she took the design psychology course, right? And some people use it, some people don't. It was actually created for life coaches, not interior designers. It wasn't made for interior designers, but she did it. She's an interior designer in Palm Springs. She did it, she started using it, she made it her niche. She is the design psychology designer. I'm the one who understands you. That became her thing. Everybody in her office is now certified. That's their thing. Their business increased 300%. And she had to make a beeline to me to tell me that. Now that's what made her different. So she used that as her marketing in everything now. So everything, they're the designers who listen. That's it. And so it's just a tagline that they used. It didn't have to be a look change.
No, right.
It was the tagline that they used over and over and over consistently, like in everything, even watermarking. You watermark your photos now because everybody's complaining that such and such used my picture. Watermark it. Okay, then that will never happen again. And if you want to, put your tagline on it.
Right.
So make it yours, not only yours, but not just Susie Q, because there's a billion Susie Q designers. Make it something that I can't forget. Make it a symbol. Anything. Something that means something to you that's distinctive, whatever that is. Maybe it's your zodiac sign, something, but just hold on to a thing that means something to you and do it over and over and over again in every single thing you do.
Okay, so what we've talked about also on the podcast, that is, it's a lot like what Fred Byrne tells us. What is your you, right? And so being a design psychologist is something. Deborah Rosenberg talks about cruelty-free design, right? So maybe you're very passionate about that. Lenora DeMars, our friend in Southern California, she's starting to get into sustainability and eco-design. And if you remember, Judy Kiefer is into that. So this is what Kelli is expressing to us, and she's imploring us to do. And what I say, in addition to that, is tie it to something you're already passionate about. Tie it to something that already turns you on and rocks your world, because then you are happy to learn more about it and be more expert in it.
Well, and if you're passionate, it shows.
Right.
You know that.
Right.
Say you're trying to sell a design that you love and then one that you're not too sure somebody's going to love, you know the difference, right? You can feel it.
Right.
You're going from your gut and you're like, this is going to be amazing. And you're going to listen to me on this one and don't question me and just do it. Because you know in your heart that's going to be the same thing. Something that you're passionate about that you're going to go crazy over.
Right.
And they can feel it.
So I have a question for you guys. We have expected to do about a half hour or so conversation, then Q&A. But my question occurred to me now is that I have 3 topics I'd like to talk to Kelli about, and I wondered if should we do 2 or 3 questions about branding now, and then we move on to the next topic? Does anybody have questions here? As long as we don't like go a half hour on this, so we can rope it around. So I just think it makes more sense if you have some questions here about branding. Does anybody have a question they'd like to ask Kelli about branding, a little in your niche or what it might be?
If you do and you don't want to talk about it now, if you think it's too involved, because it is an involved question. Like if you specifically said to me, hey, what do you think I should do? You clearly need to be doing one of these, right? This is way more than this whole culture. Kelli, Kelli, at KelliEllis.com. Send me an email.
Very generous. Thank you, Kelli. Oh, Ian has a question.
Ian.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about this concept that you just presented in terms of thinking about what distinguishes us, what helps us to stand out. If we're struggling to find that, is there a particular specific exercise that you might suggest that might
ask other people and not people that know you? Don't ask people that know you. Ask strangers what their first impression of you is. Okay, so coming up this week I have my mastermind group, which I'm super excited about, and one of the intake questions that we had, and it's hard to hear sometimes, right? I spoke about this yesterday a little bit, because you go full board thinking, I am going to be this, and you create this little avatar of who you are. And this is going to be me, and I'm going to be green, and I'm going to be whatever. And then you're not, right? Because you wore this one time this week, but the other 7 days this week you were, or 6 days this week you were purple. Right. Really? No, you're not green, you're purple. Like, so those are the
Now
things
I have
that
a
we
question.
see. Right.
But now I have a question.
Okay, but those are the things you have to be aware of, is a lot of times what you are presenting, you think you're presenting, you're not. So don't be afraid to open up and actually hear when you ask the question, what do I embody to you? Most people say, oh, you're honest, you're transparent, whatever those things are. Those could be your taglines. Taglines are the best thing you can possibly have for yourself. What's your question?
So my question is, I have been for...
Oh yeah, we can be cranked up.
Yeah.
We have microphones on.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
They want to hear us in the back. Is this thing on?
It's on. Okay. Okay.
Oh, you closed the doors. That helps. Okay.
Does that sound a little bit better?
No, we probably need to be louder. I need to hear myself echo in my head.
Yes. Yeah.
Like a hangover, but different. Okay. Can you hear us now better? Okay, good. Okay,
Good. Thank you for letting us know,
Yes,
by
thank
the way, instead of like going through the whole thing, right? So I have a question for you related to that now. So what I've been doing is, since February, is I've been wearing green during a public podcasting event, or if I'm even Facebook Living from my own studio, I just put a green t-shirt on. Are you suggesting that when I spent 4 days at market, whether I was on stage or not, I should have been in green?
Yes, of course.
Okay, see?
Of course.
All right.
And you should be videotaping all your podcasts, by the way, because you need the YouTube
Well, we're
channel to
starting
go
that
with it.
Design Biz Live, so I can't do
Just
it every
saying.
time. It's
Just
enough.
saying.
It's
I know.
enough.
If you hook yourself up now, most of us cringe at all the stuff we have to do, right? You're like, really? I have to do the thing with the thing, and then a Facebook Live, and then tease the thing, and then do the, and then maybe talk about this, and then maybe a post and fill you in, right? If you're prepared ahead of time, just like any design plan, just like any big project that seems super scary and overwhelming, if I told you tomorrow that you're going to do a hotel, you'd kind of like hyperventilate a little bit, right? And then sort of chunk it down and get it done, right? So it's just like anything else. This branding thing is not just like, oh, if you feel like doing it. You kind of have to now. Because if you think about it, we are not the roving stores that we used to be. We're not doing the, giant markups and all those things. People are charging differently. You're competing with online stores. You're competing with somebody online who's unfortunately selling fabrics, what they shouldn't be. They don't care about IMAPs. They don't care about anything, right? There's always somebody out there doing it. It's not cool. But your clients are going to find it. So now what makes you different? Now you're getting paid for your design, essentially. You're getting paid for your creativity, essentially, right? And what you have to offer. So now what makes you different than the person next to you? And those are some of the things that we kind of have to do. We have to brand ourselves. You are a brand. I know you don't want to be a brand, some of you. Like, I don't want to be a brand. I just want to design your brand. If your name is on your website, you're a brand. If your picture's on your website, you're a brand. Everything you post is public, by the way. Every single thing you do, including Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, creates your brand, whether or not you like it. So you have to be aware of everything that you do publicly. Now, if you just sat back and went, wow, why don't I just get organized? Set up the camera, set up the thing, do the thing from the beginning, just like you would do any project, everything's going to be easier. It's not going to be the chore. Use those tools that we know are out there to make your life easier, right? Use the Mydomas, use the Hootsuites, use the whatever it is you have to do to make your life easy. If you're familiar with Hootsuite, some of you are, some of you aren't. Looking at me like, the heck are we talking about?
Right?
Right, where so you can program your posts so you don't have to be sitting there being a slave to any of the things that we don't want to be a slave to, because we already are our phones. It's just admit it. So there are things to make your life easier, and just approach it just like you would a project. The project is you. The project is your business and your brand, and you are a brand. I know you don't want to be, some of you. I see people kick and scream.
It's exhausting.
No, it is.
It's exhausting.
But they kick and scream like, I just want to. Well, I'm sorry. There's no more of I just want to. Somebody's talking about what you're doing. Whether or not you're putting out the content, someone's going to.
Yeah.
Look at this great room such and such did for me. Really, are you ready for that? Do you want other people to find you? It's really great when somebody talks about it. It's flattering, and they take a great photo, and you're thinking, wow, I probably should have had an Instagram account so I could have been tagged. Wow, I probably should have had a hashtag set up so that I could have found this. I didn't even know it was out there. All those kinds of things, right? So we can't get away from it.
Right.
So we have to embrace it.
Another thing that Kelly said to me when we were chatting the other day was, she said to me, your Instagram is fine, but where are you?
Yeah.
She's like, there's no LuAnn there. And I have to say, I just feel like, who the heck cares?
You care. How many of you listen to the podcast? You care, right? Because you want to see her. Like, anybody can post a bunch of pictures. It could have been an intern. Like, we don't even know that you're doing it or that you care. If it is an intern, don't you want somebody just to put hashtag intern? I just want to know that someone else is posting these, so I'm not following along thinking that this is the person, right? Like, you want somebody to either tell you that I'm posting these or it's an ad or something, so that at least you know. But at least 20% of your Instagram should be personal. There's a whole nother thing. Because you set yourself apart from the other podcast geniuses that are all here as well.
They're geniuses as
right?
well.
And they have their different flair, and we listen to different podcasts for different reasons. You want energy, you want to laugh, you're going to listen to LuAnn. That's just a fact, right? And that's what sets her apart. She is as real as it gets, straight shooter, like awesome. And that's why I enjoy the podcast.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then there's other people who have different things, the voice, or they're mellow, or they're chill, and you know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Okay, and I love them too, but they have a different flair. And again, if you go to their Instagrams, which I'm coaching one of them, you'll see his face popping up more behind his brand. The other one, I'm trying to get him to change his look. He posts pictures that anybody can post. Okay, we don't want that. We want at least 20%. So I told her when she's putting on her green, take a selfie in the mirror and show them what you're about to wear to market. So every time we already know what you're going to wear, then when I see you walking through the hallways, I can attack you, take a selfie, and tag you. Yeah. That's how that goes, right? So it's not like, oh, who gives a rat's? Like, you don't have to make green pancakes and take pictures of those, right?
I'm not making any pancakes.
Come on now, right now. Or, it doesn't have to be green beer with every meal or whatever the heck.
That I could do.
When it's personality driven and it makes sense, and for sure, if I'm going to see you here, damn straight, be wearing a color then, and let us know what you're going to wear so we can find you.
And it reminds me of how many of you know Jana, the trim queen, right? Doesn't Jana wear trimming everywhere she goes? Yeah. And I'm using this as a guinea pig. I'm being the guinea pig here, but the point of it is not to talk about me, but to get you to think about yourselves and what you could do. And I have to say, all the experts that have been on the show in the last 200 plus episodes, they've said to share a little personal. And it's like I always say too, sometimes it takes somebody else saying it. It took hearing Kelly say it to me yesterday. So today we did the cab shot. I'm just saying. I did my first personal post. Yeah. Okay. All right. So thank you. Thank you for teaching me that for sure. Tell us about Rockstar Principles, relationship, opportunity, courage, kick-ass. Tell us about that.
It's kind of something that I've created to follow, because everybody said, oh, you're such a rock star, or you look like a rock star, and I was like, all right, let's go with it. So
to your point, ask people what they think about you, right? What do they?
That's all I heard. That came from other people. I didn't walk around going, I am a rock star. I didn't do that. It just was what other people were calling me. And so I just took it and ran with it. And it happened to work with the persona. Although I have to tell you, before it didn't. Not to belittle soccer moms, I was a soccer mom, but I look like a soccer mom. And somebody said that to me, and I was like, I'm kind of offended. I'm super kind of offended by that whole comment, but I'll take rock star all day long. So I embraced the rock star thing, and I thought, God, that needs to mean something, because I can't just say I'm a rock star. What the hell does that mean? And so when I was talking about to some friends and to my group, my educational group, mastermind group, and they were like, what is that? What does rock star mean? I said, well, it means like not burning bridges. So relationships are the most important thing in this game, right? So we could probably see most of the things at market online if we really had to. We like to get our eyeballs on it, right? Fabric's different. We have to touch them. I love fabric shopping. Thank you for having us. So that's different. And if you have a client with you, they want to sit and feel, and we know how that goes, right? But most of the time, there's not a lot of brick and mortar, so we just have to tell them to trust us. I sat in it at market, trust me. Yeah. That's tough, right? So we come to market for this. What you're doing here now, putting your eyeballs, with people that you want to meet. You're trying to make relationships that you want to foster for whatever reasons they may be, for better design, for better reps, for better communication. Maybe you want to do licensing deals. Maybe you're trying to be on a speaking gig. Maybe you want to be in the speaking tour circuit, whatever it is, right? But we come to market for relationships. That is huge. So while you're here, don't burn bridges, right? So you have to understand how to foster those relationships. That's number one. That's the R. O is the opportunities, okay? So I can tell you that many a times when I'm meeting somebody, a lot of times you don't really see the opportunity in something, right? But you never know. So somebody's friend is the buying, purchasing agent for this great new brand of something that you met, and you just kind of write it down on the card. This is what I do. I write down on the business card. Because later on when you go home, you're like, who the hell is that, right?
Don't
forget.
remember, right?
Totally forget. Yesterday I was sitting in a panel. I said, everybody needs to be like real estate agents and put your picture on your card. So that you can remember who you were. So that's not a bad idea, right? But so make a note so you can foster those relationships and seek the opportunities, because the opportunities are there whether or not you thought about them at the moment. They will surface. Then have the courage. Once you see that little teeny tiny opening and you want to make it a door, get your hammer out and make it a door, okay? Because sometimes you have to. I have a new licensing deal with Sunpan Furniture, and it's the first licensing deal they've ever done, and it comes out April, High Point Market.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, but I was full court press on them for 9 months. Like I had a hammer, sledgehammer, drill, saw, chainsaw. Like every time I saw them, I was like, remember me? I'm going to change the face of your entire company. And they're like, yeah, we love you. Okay, you need to go. And I finally got them to listen to what I was saying. I actually shot photos, Instagram, all kinds of photos of their product and what I did with it. I recovered it. I made it more feminine. I had to change the look of the product because it's very man-cavey, right? Great stuff, but man-cavey. And I was like, okay, you need to have a feminine touch. And I was full court pressing them for 9 months. So talk about a hammer. I mean, I really hit them all over the head with it. So if you see any welts, bruises, or that's from me. And then go kick ass. Like, just do it. Because right once you say, this is what I'm going to do for you, you can't go away.
Well,
like,
next
you have
week.
to follow through. Yeah, you have to follow through. And have the courage to follow through. So all of those things, I think, really are what keep me going. So when somebody says to me, I'm a rock star, I'm like, oh, yeah. Relationships, opportunities, courage, kick ass, go. And it's just something that I've learned to foster and hope that people take with them so that they can really, when they see those things, even one of those things, go, oh, this could be an opportunity. This could be something good. This is a relationship I need to forge.
What I like about it is that when you think about them in relation to each other, they all round around and come back to each other. So if you're really working very hard in developing quality relationships and paying attention to those relationships and acknowledging them and nurturing them, right? Then when an opportunity comes, if you've done your homework of being a true live human being over here and the opportunity is there, it's not icky.
No.
It's not like,
Gross.
seriously, we said hello once. What are you doing? It's like,
no. This was a hello.
That's right. So I love that. And then, of course, we do talk about courage and confidence a lot on the show because you have to stand in your space, right? Am I going to say it 90th time, Sandra Funk, right? You have to stand in your space and you have to know what you bring to the table. You have to know what your value is and how come you're different for that client that you're working with that moment. And own it and be courageous and express it. And then kick ass, right?
But I like what you just said. So understanding what it is that you have to offer that's different is really huge.
Yeah.
That's a big thing because so when brands are looking to you, you know, if you wanted to do licensing or whatever, because you always wonder, right? Okay, so here's a perfect example. Calvin Klein, Oscar de la Renta, half of my friends are up here, you know, with the line here.
Right.
And quite honestly, for all of us, you're not going to buy something because it has my name on it. I'm not ever buying something because someone's name's on it. I'm going to buy it because it works for my project. Bottom line. That's not the point of the branding. The point of the branding and licensing is to put new eyeballs onto the product, period. Right? So if they are doing their job as a brand ambassador, right? Kravet's next in line for me, just let you know.
I'm first.
I know. Yeah.
I'm going to pick up that hammer.
Where's Lisa Kravet? Go get her on the phone. If that's not the point of the licensing deal at all. Because we obviously you don't care, right? If you're going to go and pick something, it's either going to work or it's not, regardless of whose name's on it. It doesn't matter. It's what they can do for you in the media, what they can do for you as a brand. That's the most important part. So if you're going to try to flip that and say, okay, what do I even have to offer? Why would somebody want me to do something for them? And it can be small or big. It can be that I want to do a podcast with you and I want to expose a new charity that I'm super involved in.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right.
It doesn't have to be a licensing deal. It just has to be content that makes sense and that is good. Right? So if I want to go to all of the podcasts and say, I have a great new charity that I fall in love with, I really want you guys to talk about it. Why? What do I have to offer you? Well, I'm going to offer you my audience.
Right.
This is my audience. I speak on large stages, and not just for interior designers, but for business, right? And the first question they ask you is, what are your numbers?
What are you following? Your Instagram,
What are your numbers?
your Twitter.
Television, too. What are your numbers? Because they know somebody's not going to tune in at that moment. You happen to catch it at that moment. They want to know what your follower, they want to know what your list looks like. They want to know, do you have a book? Is there something that we can sell at the back end? I mean, there's all these questions that have to do with the business model as a pod, not just you. So it doesn't matter if you want to be a licensing person, if you want to, talk to podcasts for whatever reason, you want to promote something that's great, that means something to you. You have to remember, what do I have to offer? And you all have something to offer. You don't have to be like anyone else in this room or anybody else who has their name up here. That's not the point of it. It's just understanding what people are looking at and how they're going to see you. Hi, I'm Susie Q. I started this charity. This is what I want to do. Boom. Great. And you're walking your walk and you're owning your thing. That's the courage, right? And not seeing that little teeny tiny pinhole that you're about to put a hammer through.
Right.
Right.
Right. So what she's talking about is basically the topic of the conversation, right? How to go to design firm to design empire. These are the things you have to do. And it's so crazy because, my husband is here and he'll tell you, like, get your face out of the phone, what Kelli is expressing is you have to build your following. If you're interested in licensing, okay, I'm assuming some of you might be here interested in that because that's the title of the conversation. And what she's saying is that 200, 300, 400 followers isn't going to be attractive to somebody who you are going to bang their door down about. But it takes a lot of work. We listened to Amber Lewis talk about it on the podcast. It doesn't happen in a minute. And we had Darla Powell on the podcast a couple weeks ago, if any of you heard that one, and she talked about the things that Mark from Tastefully Inspired taught us how to do. And I did it for 1 week. 1 week. But I'm telling you, like 1 week where I didn't breathe. I was like this with Vinny. Oh yeah, love you too. Yeah, I'll have red wine. Yeah, okay. I didn't communicate with anything other than this darn phone for a week. But in 1 week, I had 200 more followers on Instagram. And I was like, it worked. Darn it. Like, I was almost hoping it wouldn't, so I didn't have to keep doing it, But so the thing is that the principles are out there that if you are sitting in this audience and you do aspire to having a licensing deal or becoming a big brand, you have to start with who you are, what makes you you. Why are you different? Find your okay? Find your And then you really do need to be building your following all along because you have to bring something to the table. And then, of course, you have to live by the rockstar principles. You have to build your relationships, take advantage of, make opportunities, share opportunities with other people. The karma comes back, right?
That's the next point I was going to make. Reciprocity is really important. Right. And that's important for me because I happen to be humanitarian, and I am on a board of directors for a children's charity. That's why I brought it up, because it's pretty much what I'm always thinking about is how I can leverage a lot of the relationships that I have made to help reciprocity is probably the most important thing. I'm sure many of you know that once you just give information, and I'm totally that way.
Yeah,
I am. Don't let the lipstick and the nails and all the big stuff fool you. Like, I'm super normal. I will respond to you. I will, if you have a question, I will answer it. Do you want to know somebody I know? Great. What do you want to know? I can probably help you. Hey, Kel, I'm interested in. Great, awesome. Let's do it. Let's hook you up. Or I will see those opportunities that some people don't see. And I'm listening to conversations and I can hear the relationship being made. I can see the pinhole. No one, they're not even looking. They're like at the bottom of their wine glass, right? I'm like, girl, let me just check you out. Let me help you out here. You don't know what's going on. You don't even realize what just happened. Yeah, you're missing this right now. I'm going to help you out right now. And like, I will whip out my card and go, you know what? I'm helping her. We're doing a little something, because I can see this stuff happening, especially during conversations, or during the parties or all this stuff happening. And so I'm good with that. I'm totally fine to make those introductions because it not only feels good, right? That's great. It feels great to help someone out and watch them thrive. Not taking a jealous moment. Some people mistake a jealousy feeling in this industry for motivation, right? It's not that you're like, oh, whatever. That's 15 years ago in our industry, right? This is a collaboration, right, feeling that we've got right now. We're not covering up our designs like we're like doing a final test like we used to. And if anybody worked in the showrooms before, 15, 20 years ago, no one would share. There was like, it was so segmented. It was literally like you're taking a final. Yeah. And you're like, don't look at my answers. Like, and now we just want to cheat off each other, right? So we're like, oh, what do you want? Isn't this great? Gotta go find it. And I'm like walking people around trying to help them find the stuff and share what I have or find, or if somebody says to me, what are those shoes? I'm like, here you go. Go get them. Go talk to this person. Like, I don't care. Because it's good. Why not? Who cares? Like, we're just going to share the information, and that's what we need to do too. The reciprocity is so good. It not only, if you're a genuine person and you like to do that, that comes back to you because people do say to me, oh, you're so genuine. Like, oh, thank God. Because there's nothing worse than hearing that you're not, right? That would just ruin everything. That would be anything that anybody ever wanted to be around. So I think developing that collaboration between us and the industry and fostering that is more important than anything. It's almost hand in hand with the Rockstar principles, otherwise they don't work.
No, I witness it. I mean, Claire Jefford is here, and she leads an interior design group on Facebook. Hi, Claire. Hi. And such a generous leader, shares all of her to-do lists, her processes. She does Facebook Live every week and teaches everybody something. And that's just one group. There's, we have several. Dixie and Rachel have a group, and they're doing the same thing. They're just getting on there every single week, and somebody can just say, I don't have an LOA. What do you use? And boom, next thing you know, you see them. I'm emailing it to you. So it's really awesome what you ladies and gentlemen are doing now in this industry. I was telling Kelly when we talked the other day, I have come into this part where you've already embraced this sharing, okay? You know that I've been in the industry for 35 years, but from window treatments. And because Window Works was originally a franchise, it's my way of looking at things is to share. Because when you come from a franchise system, you are getting together every 4 months and you're all teaching each other and helping each other. And of course our franchise, I've said it on the show before, was the franchise that was the training franchise for all of the others. And so I just come from, yeah, this is how you do it. Let's teach you how to do it. And so it's really great that it's come to you guys now because it's the only way to fly. Everybody rises with the water, right? Okay, so I have another topic that I would love to cover with Kelly. So one of the things that I think that what I find, small business owners, a lot of solos I can see in the audience today, or even just smaller firms, what I find that they're struggling with is streamlining their processes. And I know that you have this as part of your mastermind, and it's one of your specialty areas that you train and you talk about. Would you give us some tips and give us some advice on streamlining the business processes? Not so much the social media and so forth, but how to get the business done.
Well, obviously, it's no surprise that Mydoma, it has me here because I'm one of their users that screams and yells from the top of the rooftops because I enjoy it so much. And all of the changes and everything that they're doing, spot on. As you add more features, I'm super duper happy. And I've kind of done this ride with you, and I enjoy it. And so obviously you have to be able to streamline. It's just like social media. You've got to make it easy, like every project. And I don't know how you are, if you've got remote employees or people that you work with or people that need to know what you're doing. I've used everything, you name it. I've used PowerPoint, I've used Pages, I've tried to do everything to try and make things as easy as possible, and I really do have a formula. It depends on what it is and what I'm doing. Some of you use Pinterest boards with clients. How many of you use Pinterest boards with clients to put them together? Too? Because some of them, it depends on the client, right? Because every one of them speaks a different language. It's almost like you have to, give them an intake form. Do you speak Pinterest? Yeah. Do you speak Pages? Do you speak, what do you speak? And then literally what you have to. Yeah. Are you a PC or Mac? You need to know how they communicate. Do you like text messages? Do you like phone calls? Do you like you are truly a marriage with your clients, because sometimes it takes that damn long, right? Depending on what the project is. If we're talking time, we're gonna love each other. We're gonna love each other, we're gonna hate each other. I'm not sure how this is gonna go down. But you have to, right? And so I have learned, it's a mix. Yeah. I can't say that I just use one thing. I wish I could, but I don't. I definitely rely on different sources depending on who my clients are and what language they speak.
But the thing is that you have to sit with yourself and develop them. You can't just willy-nilly everything. Nope. You can't just wake up one day and say, well, I run a project this way,
no.
today, and the next way, another day.
No.
And it's funny because that's what we're from franchising as well. I mean, we come from a system for everything, crazy pants systems. And I've said it, I keep saying I've said it on the podcast because I feel like most of you know all my stories, but I tell you from personal experience that I understand what it's like to be right-brained and to resist the system. I'm that girl. I'm totally that girl. I'm like, oh, this is good. I got it all done. 25 seconds. Great. Awesome. The next day it'll take me 3 hours to do the same damn thing because I do it a completely different way. Yeah. But, Mr. Nigara back there, the Vincennes man, he literally, stop. This is how we do this. This is how we do this. This is how we do this. And it took me years. And he would say to me, we'd be 3, 4, 5 years in business. Okay, everybody here is doing this the right way but you. And of course,
coach is doing it right.
And the thing is, I was always the top salesperson. It wasn't that he could say, and you're not successful. It's just torturing him. You know what I mean? And he would say to me, how much better could you be if you did it the way it's supposed to be done?
Okay, so this is my trick. I'm going to tell you this. So we're all, let's just say we're all right-brained, right? We love to be creative. I went through law school. Okay, this is my path, law school. And who had to graph the entire case law? Me. I'm not kidding. I filled the entire wall with pretty pictures.
I'm exhausted thinking
to get through law school, I had to graph it. That's how right-brained I am. Okay, so same idea. If you're taking the right-brained person, how many of you love to have a folder with pictures on how something is done? I love it.
Folder.
Right? So that's a way of systematizing in the way that you know how to do it. So any way that you have to do it, you create that little folder. This is how, and this is how I think, right? So when I'm coaching people and they're trying to figure out and they're trying to streamline, I said, pretend like you're going to sell your business next year. That's it. Pretend like you're going to sell your business next year. What the hell would you have to do? That's right. The first thing you would have to do is sit down and systematize everything. And I don't care if you're taking photos of everything that you're doing because you don't know how to do it otherwise. And you're going to put it in a folder and you're going to hand it over to somebody along with, everything, right? Your books and back end. But the day-to-day systems, pretend like you're going to sell the business. Then you can create a system for what you do. It is the easiest way to get your head wrapped around, what does that mean, a system? Right. If somebody came, God forbid, you fall ill and you are the only person that knows how to do something, and somebody's going to take over your spot while you're laying in bed drinking wine and whatever you're doing because you're ill, right? What does that mean? What are you possibly going to tell them that you do every day? Think of those scenarios. I need somebody to take over my business and I'm going to sell it. Now you can start working on your systems. And that will help you every single day. And you can chunk it down. This is what I do. Here's how I handle a hotel project. Here's how I handle a brand new construction project. Here's how I handle just a remodeling, just buying furniture, right? And so each one does have a little bit different of a system, right. But I had to do that because as you hire on people, what are you telling them? Right. Here, just do this. Yeah. No, you're not going to get anything done. That was an absolute waste of hire. Right. How many of you hired people that you were like, wow, I didn't even give them enough information? That was a waste of money, big time waste of money, because they didn't have enough tools to do anything. You couldn't tell them the system at all. So now there's a lot of people that will be coming to me that I know, even with my current mastermind, their biggest problem is they have so many people under the roof. They're not taking home enough money. Their businesses are making $2 million, $3 million a year, and they still are struggling to pay bills. Huh? How is that happening? And we're talking take-home money. Too much overhead. There's too much overhead because they made too many quick hires without systems, and people are kind of working, and they're kind of not working, and that's not okay. Because at the end of the day, it's your own money, it's your own business. You know, they're great, they're friends, but you gotta run and pay your own bills, right? You have your own livelihoods and stress.
And I would say too, whether it's it's one person that you hire, one design assistant, or any position, and one marketing person, or you're a big firm and you have 5 people that are not productive, that individual person is not happy that they're not productive either.
Right.
They're coming to work every day feeling like,
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know what's expected of me. And, my line in our office is, the girls in our office, when I pick something up, if you never walk in that building again, I better know exactly what's happening with this order. No shorthand, no your own hieroglyphics for what happened in the conversation. You could, because we've had employees that walked out on Tuesday afternoon and never came back. Worked for us for 12 years, never walked in the door again. And of course, there we are with all of our orders. And WindowWorks, I could have 100 clients open in one day, in 1 week, 1 month. So I'm like, no. We need to know what's going on here. And to Kelly's point, you should be running your business every day with the intention to sell it. Because number one, as you said, it gives you the juice to run your business organized, but it also, one day, guess what? You might be able to sell it. Wouldn't that be awesome after working for 40 years and make some money on it, instead of just closing the doors, okay? So, and it's like, if you're just running your business and you're the only one that knows what's going on, what I say to you is, you don't actually have a business. You have a you.
Right. And that sounds like a Shark Tank line, but it's totally true.
Yeah.
So if any of you watch Shark Tank, they're like, this is not an idea. This is a hobby. This is a hobby. Robert Hershevek is actually a client of mine. And he's a sweetheart of a man. But yeah, he's not Mr. Wonderful. This is a hobby. Out. You don't have a business. But what's funny is you don't really hear of a lot of interior designers selling their businesses. And I, honest to God, think part of that is that they either hit a roadblock because they're not scaling the way that they ever wanted to, right? Towards the end, they're like, God, thank God I'm done with this. I'm officially retired, right? And they're not, it's like
they can't even stay there one more week to try and sell it. It's over.
They're done. They just close up shop because their husbands are retired and it's time, the kids are out of the house and it's time to go. You don't ever really hear of a lot of interior designers building up a business strong enough or organized enough to actually sell it.
What would
Come
happen
on
if you
now.
did?
Come on. We're talking, this is lucrative. This can be a very, very big money-making business if we did it right. How great would it be to start franchising? You heard it here. Just had my opportunity. I got a pinhole. I see a pinhole. But it makes sense, right, to think of yourself as more of an entity and not so much of it's just me. It takes a lot of stress off of you, too. A lot of stress off of you. Because it is a stressful job, right? And we think about, I have to do this, I have to do that, and being able to trust. And if you don't have the systems, then you don't trust the people that you're hiring. And the people who you have hired, who I've heard from my own daughter, who is my design assistant at the moment, Mom, you need to trust me more. Right? So she's frustrated that I wasn't trusting her, and I finally let go, treated her like an employee, came up with the systems, and this was, a couple years ago, but I had to do the same thing, even for my own kid, and pretend like she was actually, a hire.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody to think that it's easy. Our business is 35 years old, and we still, struggle with it. Okay, I'm out of system, or we need a new system, because business changes every day. The introduction of, even right now, I just said to my husband on the taxi ride over here, I said, we have a meeting set up the Thursday we get back with the social media team. I said, because right now, the social media is willy-nilly. It's me on my phone in between glasses of Pinot Noir. This is insanity.
It's better
we
though
need a
as the night
system for
goes
social media. I'm this morning emailing the team about the podcast for Power Talk Friday. I'm like, okay, Stephanie Chung. This is not a system. So, even though we're a highly systemized business, the environment, the climate of business changes, and it challenges us all the time. So you have to stop, you have to reset, you have to figure it out, and come out of the gate all over again. So one thing that I always love to make clear and make sure you understand is, both Kelly and I have a little bit of Nazi attitude about do it the right way, but there's very deep compassion that we understand that it's not always easy and that you are calibrating every single day and having to check what's happening and make an adjustment and move on. And reach out in your designer groups, reach out with questions to people that maybe can help you make those relationships. Get a designer bestie, have those, what does Rachel Moriarty call it? She calls it the jam sessions. They have their accountability meetings on Monday morning. And, just find the help wherever you can get it. So I would love to know, does anybody have any questions for Kelli? We've got her attention here before we have a little wine and a little bit of, noshes that Kravet so generously gave for us.
Are you going to have them send you their hashtag ideas?
Oh, okay, so let's have 5 seconds about that.
Right.
All right, what are we going to hashtag this?
Her green. What do you think you should call it? Is it LuAnn's green? Is it, what is it?
Is it just podcast green? See, maybe you don't even understand. I have it as green because my podcast logo, the only color on it is green.
Right.
So I don't know if I needed to tell you that part, but that's where it comes from.
Okay.
Okay,
yes.
Wendy.
Well, you're in business to make money and you're wearing green. Can it just be business green? Or something like along that line?
Yeah. Oh, we got another suggestion.
Okay, I like it.
Hi, I'm Alana. What about something like Green Team? Because then you get people involved, and it can be like not only you, but you're promoting it as like
it.
Oh, that's my Green Team. So everyone who listens to your podcast, your fans, like they see you in the hallway, like hashtag Green Team. Like we're on, we're on your team. Like we're on your Green Team.
Green Team. Now I have a question. Do we do green team podcast? We just leave podcast out. That's not out. Okay,
because
not relevant.
you're sitting here right
just
now
green
live.
Team. Right. Okay.
Right.
It's already connected to your podcast.
Totally.
You probably have hashtag and like if they're tweeting or Facebooking, whatever, it's gonna be
Right. I agree. Okay.
Maybe growing green.
That's nice. I like it. Good job. Yep, from Ivy back there.
Yeah. All right. So now, okay. Lisa.
Well, I'm always so impressed that you have so much going on and so much on your plate. So I would say Green Machine.
Green Machine.
It's like that.
Looks like we hit a nerve here. Thank you, Lisa. Okay. All right. Can we? We got more. Oh, Nigara's got one.
I was thinking about the thrust of the podcast was to help designers make profit in their business. And I'm wondering if something on the theme of green is gold or something on that order would be right in line with the thrust of the podcast.
He's always thinking about the money, the big man. We had another one.
What about putting the two together and being growing green team or something? I don't know how long it has to be, but
Growing
something.
Green Machine?
Maybe growing green machine.
Linda had one.
Yeah, I was going to say Nigara, using your last name, Nigara Green Machine.
No, I think it limits it too much because you always kind of want to be Blue Man Group. Okay, so how brilliant is that group? Or the Jabberwockies. They've got a mask or they've got, that means they can be more than you. Because you want to go beyond you a lot of the times, right? So if you want to be scalable, you want to be able to have it be a bigger group. So the green team, the beauty of that was that anybody wearing the green would be associated with the podcast and the LuAnn. Awesome, right? And so even their photos were tagged with hashtag green team, whatever that is. So think of those as well. So beyond just your name,
Right.
although fun, so that you can be the Blue Man Group.
Okay. I love
Expand
it.
yourself a little bit more.
So I thought I would show up today with the T-shirt that said, I like it a lot.
Oh.
Because you say that all the time.
So funny.
So now I think once you decide that we're all going to wear green, that you should have a T-shirt
See,
made
I did the same thing,
that
yes.
says, I
100%.
like it,
Yep.
I like it a lot.
Yep.
That's funny because Christine Lou from Chevy Chase, Maryland, I met her at an event, I want to say it was at the IWCE, and she said to me, she goes, I just found myself saying to somebody the other day, I love it a lot. And she was like, I'm becoming LuAnn. And then Jenny also, I don't know if Jenny's here today, I think she might have had to go back. She was at the event yesterday at Designer Inc. And she private messaged me on Instagram about 2 weeks ago, and she said, okay, I'm officially losing it now. She said, I was meeting with a contractor yesterday, and I said to him, I really thought this idea would be a great idea. She goes, or is that crazy pants?
I
And
say
she
that
said,
too.
she goes, I've never said that before. She goes, but now you're in my head.
I say that too. I do say crazy pants. Amazeballs and crazy pants. That's awesome. So I think they're great ideas.
All right, so we got
super.
green machine, green team.
Yep. Hashtag.
Okay, so we're gonna have to
do a contest.
That's it. Oh, see, that's the other thing. See, that's another total marketing thing that, especially if you're in the podcast realm, you're constantly hearing these marketing. You work with Gary Vee and do different things. It's get your tribe involved by having contests. And I always think to myself, I'm going to put this contest out, like 3 people are going to be, none of us care.
No.
Whatever.
That's the misnomer, I think. We were talking about this yesterday on the panel with the Ivy team and Jackie and Deb, saying that designers are so not confident. Like, we really need to have some more confidence. And, yes, people care. We actually care about what it is that you want to say and do and post. So many of us care. We're watching. Like, those are not just likes.
We care about you.
Well, thank you.
You're bigger than all the rest of us.
It's just, I'll do it for you.
All right,
I'll do it for you. It's not just likes for likes. It's not just, for the heck of it. It's like people really do look, and we care. There's this curiosity with what other people are doing. We obviously have people that we follow and love. We are doing that for a reason, right? So when you stop thinking that we care, it's almost like a parent figure that goes, no, you don't really care. Yes, I do.
Wow.
Tell me what it is that you wanted to say. Like, don't start half the conversation. We care. We're already here. Don't make us reaffirm that we care.
Right. Don't be that whiny, crazy
Don't be
lady
the whiny,
that
crazy
makes
lady.
every time. Okay, I got it. I heard it. I'm good.
Okay, good.
I got it. All right. Went right through
Do the
that.
contest.
That's what it is.
You're gonna do the contest.
All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a contest.
That's right.
Green machine, green team. Please answer the contest. Or I'm totally
No, don't prove me wrong. Tell her how much you can love her and care. Yeah.
All right. Well, you really are the rock star.
Thank you.
I adore you,
Thank
lady.
you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
It was really
thank
fun.
you.
Thank you.
All righty, guys. Thanks so much for coming out. All right.
Now you drink your wine.
That's it. Okay, drink our wine. Here we
Cheers.
go. Cheers. I'm not a day drinker.
You are if you're a market. There's no such thing as time in Vegas. We don't have clocks
That is
here.
true. There is no time in Vegas.
There's no
That
time
is
in
true.
Vegas. I live here. I know. There's no time here.
That's one of my lines that I say to people when I'm going to their house to do custom window treatments. You want it in their bedroom. You want it to be room darkening? And they were like, yeah. I'd be like, wait, we're talking Las Vegas dark?
Yeah.
We don't know it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Like, I need to get a handle on room darkening here.
That's right. Vegas is a litmus test for a lot.
Yeah. No, it's so true. It's true because it's the truth. You're in these casinos and it's honest to God. You know, if it's day or night, especially if you don't go outside and get some real fresh air, it's just like, whatever.
That's the beauty of market, though. You can escape for just a couple days.
Yeah, definitely. All righty, no questions. Everybody's good?
They're going to come swarming up after
Okay,
this.
all right.
I can feel it now.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for our Facebook Live peeps out there.